presentation at Z-Day. I swear Joe must have read this book as well.
Yeah, because he used that thing, didn't he, with Galileo. That's quite a famous graphic, though. I've seen that before. But,
yeah, is it? Oh.
Yeah, I'd seen that a few years ago. They've got a couple of them. But yeah, that particular one of, was it Copernicus, the Roman Catholic Church, and what was it, Galileo? Yeah. That's one that's existed for a while. But
you shut your mouth. You shut it right now.
That's right. LOL, what you smoking, bro? Yeah.
But yeah, it's even at one bit during the near the beginning of the book, it actually shows you one of the days of Satan's newsfeed and everything, where Satan adds Jesus as a friend, and this is when he was like tempting him.
Oh, in the desert.
Yeah, in the desert, and then like by the end of it, right at the very bottom, it says Jesus Christ has blocked Satan, and there's another bit where towards the beginning where it says Jesus Christ has rejected a friend request from Jesus H Christ.
Very good.
But yeah, it's a very, very funny story. It has, and the adverts because it's basically modelled just like a Facebook page, but it's completely all like oriented towards the Bible and everything, and the adverts that it has up there as well, absolutely hilarious. Like the kind of I think it's adverts for John the Baptist action figures with detachable head.
Very good, very good.
Well, I think we've probably covered everything. So really, it's
ask me about the lizards. You're not going to ask me about that.
Oh yeah. What
about the Illuminati? We haven't talked about any of that.
Oh, what size is your lizard suit?
That's right. No, I have a human suit. I'm a lizard underneath, man.
Oh yeah. Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
That's right.
So really, it's so I guess we're really at the very final question, and that is, what can we do to help change the current zeitgeist?
Sure, that's the big one, isn't it?
Mm.
Well, it's certainly not go out and build a test city, not by itself. The only way that you can change minds is by talking to them, and really the job of our movement, of any movement that really needs to change values, which is astonishingly hard to change because, of course, people's guards go straight up because the values are self-preserving, is to really talk in a rational and fair and kind way about these things and try and introduce people as if they do it in an interesting way. Don't lecture people, because people respond better to real human contact. If you press something into my hands on a street corner that I'm meant to read, that is meant to give a shit about something that you believe, or that you're standing for, it's not going to induce me for that. It's to make it relevant. So we need to make these values and this information relevant to people. And it really is, I think, even though it's been said so many times by different people, it really is group awareness, if you like, numbers, if you like, of people that can make a change. And that's really where it starts. We're already developing technology well enough to cover ourselves in astonishing ways. What really is stopping us now is just simply deciding to put our efforts towards that. And that will take everyone, because this is about everyone.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that that I think I've said in my podcasts where people are trying to explain this sort of thing to their family, where their family are staunchly against this kind of thing. I just say to them, well, try and get a sense of where they're coming from, and try and build a bridge between your frame of reference and theirs. And it's about building bridges and taking care not to burn any. That's
absolutely right. That's absolutely right. It is about bridges, and it is very unfortunate to hear those stories of people whose family members have been extremely staunchly against it. There are not none of them, but there are there's only a few of them, isn't there? Which is, I think, at least from what I've had reported back to me.
Yeah, I think because it was a similar situation with my ex's family. They just like a typical working class family, and and they give me the same sort of arguments sometimes. Oh, nobody cares about that, and I'm like, I'm sorry. There's the main site has like over 500,000 subscribers. How can you say that no one cares?
And actually, if you think of all the single issue organisations, there are people who care. There's a lot of people who care and think about things. It's funny. I had a similar conversation on a plane once, where I basically ran through some of this stuff, and the girl turned to me and said, "You do think a lot about these things, don't you?" As if it was like a really weird thing. And funnily enough, it is a really weird thing, because it's actually not the norm anymore. People we just let things, serve us, and we don't think about how they work or what it means. And we have become quite passive. We have actually become that phrase consumer is in fact just a passive, objectified version of a human being, isn't it? Consumer. Just think of that word.
Not just consumer of goods, but also consumer of what you're told, consumer of what, really it's consumer of what you're sold in every sense of the word, not just the goods and services that you're sold, but also the values that you're sold as well. Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah, you do. You consume and you do buy into. That's why we have that phrase, isn't it? Buy into an ideology, absolutely. And we just have to become aware of that, I think. And I think the rest will follow, as much as that sounds like a glossy version of the future. Once you've realized what the real problems are, then the solution is quite obvious. And the big jump was getting to be able to think that way to begin with, and that's what Carl Sagan was so good at. That's what Bucky Fuller was very good at. It's what Fresco is very good at as well, is thinking correctly about thinking. And thinking correctly about, the kind of things you should be questioning. Not just question everything, not just hoard a bunch of conspiracy theories, but really just have a critical view of the world. And I don't know about you, Adam, I actually find it quite fun. I find it quite interesting. And I think probably the enthusiasm of enjoying it is what at once makes people think that we're a cult, or that anybody who thinks about things in a particular way must be some kind of cult member, right? He must have lost his, he's got a mentality now. He must have lost his, sense of critical thinking. But in fact,
a sense of reality.
Yeah, but I think on the other side, people who see you into something will probably engage with it as well and go, "Oh, right, well, he seems to be pretty into this stuff. This might be quite interesting," and maybe they, evaluate it a bit better based on that. No one listens to someone who's whining the whole time, and that's very important to get that balance quite right between pointing out the problems and saying what the solution is, not just in terms of technicals, but in terms of values. Look, I know I'm sounding negative when I say the banking system's broken, the media is poisonous, and the environment's collapsing, right? But the whole point is, I'm saying that comes from something that we can fix.
It's probably around about this time in a conversation when I'm saying this kind of thing to people, they either say something like, you're really deep, aren't you, Adam? And in a sort of like quasi patronising way, or the main one they say, you think too much.
Oh, you think too much. I love that one. I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breathe too much.
Yeah.
Breathe, man. You need it.
Well, one thing I always immediately say to people who, obviously I say this in a joking way, when they say you think too much, I say, well, I'll tell you what, I think you think too little.
I like that one. That's right.
You don't think enough.
Try harder.
Yeah. But no, it's strange that the kind of ingrained things that we're against, that we have to sort of, because it's very much like what you said, the current zeitgeist itself, it is self-generating and self-perpetuating, and I think that's why a lot of people who aren't as adept at either recalling the specific information, or aren't as good as relaying it, they get very frustrated, because they think to themselves, well, why can't I just get this, and they start thinking, because there's a majority view out there, that that we're having to fight against, because the majority is already the established view. They start thinking to themselves, well, this is only a minority view, you know.
Very good.
And
Very good. In fact, yeah, the safety in numbers works both ways, doesn't it? You know?
Exactly. And you know, and that's probably one of the things that I've personally tried to help people out of that sort of thing, because I've introduced them to it. They've tried to like, you know, get into the groove of understanding it, and then they, you know, it's almost like they get overwhelmed by all the not necessarily the material itself. I mean, the material itself to them just carries along its own path. It's simple enough to understand, but because there isn't so much of an established established spirit in the majority for it, it seems that you know, it's better to just stay in the majority, and they get overwhelmed by all the majority mentalities, and they think to themselves, oh well, it's not, there's not many, it's not very big, is it, Adam? It's not worth.
Yeah, that's true. You end up having those doubts, you know. I mean, doubt is built into the system too, you know. It's well, should I really be doing this? Blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And you know, so that's really, I think, one of the what do I do things. Of course, there are things like, you know, for example, you can, you know, try and grow your own food. Catch rainwater, which, if you've looked carefully in the news, has actually been made illegal recently in a state in America.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't be doing that. You're going to be buying water from us, otherwise you're infringing my profits.
Yeah, I'd actually like to, because I've been meaning to research into that and find exactly what sort of legal apparatus is actually in place to actually justify criminalising, you know, growing your own food, or like, because I think it's growing your own food, and I think growing and selling organic food is becoming illegal now.
That's right. There was an article about that recently. That's right. That a guy who essentially wasn't using whatever Roundup, whatever the hell it is, you know, his stocks are considered illegal. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, they do it the other way around as well, where they of course genetically engineer seeds that will spread, but of course because they own the genetic coding, they can sue farmers who don't pay them for using their corn, even if it's blown into their field. But can you imagine that? Just being a farmer, some stuff grows on your land, and then they come and take your house. that's what just happened, right? That's the behaviour that's actually, you know, being supported by the innovation there. Right. So yeah, absolutely. But that's my 2 cents, man. It's getting the word out, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Critical mass.
Well, I'm afraid I think that's all we got time for now, so I'm going to have to bring it to a close now, Ben.
Nick, good talking with you.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you too, dude. I will definitely have to do this again, because I think we could probably do like a whole 3-hour broadcast.
There's some other stuff you can dig up.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you very much for coming and talking to me, Ben. Next time I'm going to be answering more of your questions. Keep in mind, I'm always looking for more questions. So if any of you listening have any of your own questions, or have received any questions, you know, by all means, send them my way. I love questions. But anyway, it's going to be the end of the broadcast now. So it's goodbye from me, and say goodbye, Ben.
See you later, guys. Thanks for listening.